Okay, so I'm going to give the stream a minute here to stabilize itself out, but I figured I'd start a little bit early. Oh man, we've already got people in the chat here. What's up, Rover and PVG and Handy Outdoor Nerd? It's doing pretty good. Decided since I have the day off from school because of President's Day, I'd do a little bit of design work. You guys might recognize this as this is not the resin print of that Locomotive shell, but I have this power truck for the larger scale stuff that I run. I want to be able to try and, well, can't fit it right now, but the idea is I want to make one of these that fits this guy, so I can run the style of Locomotive around the train layout and it'll look pretty good. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is similar to last time. This is not going to be a tutorial per se, but I'm going to be doing what I can to show, you know, how I pull dimensions off this, how I do things like that. So let me get some paper here. And where's a pen? Just had one like 5 minutes ago. This is what happens when I'm not the best at organizing pre-stream. It's like, oh crap, it's almost 3. I should probably jump on. I have a pen. This guy works. Perfect. Okay, so step 1 for this is obviously I need to know how big the top of this is. And that works out to be 0.85. And then for the length of it, because I have to factor in room for the couplers, I'm going to make it about 2.5 inches long. Yeah, I'll make it 2.5. I can always modify the coupler to fit later. So this power truck is interesting because you guys might not be able to see it very well. I'll turn the light off. You can tell this was not planned. So on the top of this is this little hump. So I'm actually going to model that into the design because I'm going to probably use it as sort of a locator. About 4.25 wide. And it's about 1.25 long. Actually, this power truck right here is HO scale, but the size of the train that it's going to run on, it's more like this. This is not the same power unit that's inside, but it should give you guys an idea of the scale here. So let me fire up screen share here. Now we're on Fusion. So you guys can see what I was working on pre-stream. This is a Locomotive design. So what I'm going to do is, as always, I'm going to work around the center like I do. 0.85 by 2.5. Enter, and then make this guy 0.45 by 1.25. And there I've pretty much just created the save it before I forget. So there I've pretty much just created the fake top of the power truck, which is perfect. then while I'm at it, let me just draw the approximate size of it with the sides on it. 1.25, we'll say. Go. So now I can pull those guys up. Oh, let me just see. Like 1 inches. That works. Sketch back on. And I forgot to pull those down. I'll do that in a minute. But to simulate sides of the locomotive, I'll pull those down about 0.525. I'll just go back to this guy. And I'll pull everything up to there. And that should actually be a join. Okay. So pretty much what I've done is I've now made it so that the power truck can locate to there. Hey, what's up, JT? So pretty much what I've done is I've made it so the power truck can approximately locate to there. There's a screw hole in the top if I needed to use that, which I really don't think I will. And it also gives a little bit of room on the sides. I'm not going to do anything on the ends yet. So I need to figure out where the couplers are going to go, the height of that, all that stuff. But this is a good launching pad. So let me start drawing the top on here. Actually, let me trim out those lines. We don't need them. We can pull this up. Actually, probably, yeah, we probably don't even need that. That is all going to be hidden. What I like to do when I design my stuff is make it with as much empty space as possible inside, because that can either be filled in with things like lead for weight, or you could stick electronics, or even if you were to do like sound systems or things like that. That might not seem like a lot of space, but that could be all it takes to hide something that you couldn't fit elsewhere. So that's why I'm always a fan of doing stuff like that whenever possible. So right now I'm designing in a step area, seat area actually, right in there. So how high did everything go? I'll put up about 750 total. Okay, so let me, while I'm at it, be smart and draw up the rest of this, which is all, with anything I design, it's all subject to change, merely just because as the design progresses, you go, yeah, that works, or no, that doesn't. So don't you know, be scared to totally change something up because you didn't like it. Just put my phone on mute because it's going off. you know, don't be afraid to look at a design and go, nope, not digging it, and you know, go from there. So got that going on, and then need to design in a seat. Oops. Actually, I need to draw that in earlier. Oops. Eat, trim, trim, trim. I'm my best to narrate it for you guys. Sorry if I'm a little bit spaced out today. I don't know if I'm getting over being sick or what, but I'm still a little space brained, if you will, which is not my idea of a fun time. So, edit feature. Why isn't it giving that as a solid line? Something must not be connected. Duh. That would be it. And there. Perfect. Now we got the basic seat area shape. Got that going on. Now dig up this guy. And, we'll give him a nice seating area because we're friendly on this railroad. Some we're not the nicest to their employees, but we want them to stick around, so we're a little nicer. Do that. Join. And bingo. That seat looks a little narrow. Let me double check. Something seems a little bit off about that. There we go. That's a little more like it. So which sketch got... That sketch got screwed up. Okay. Okay, that's a bit more like it. What's going on in chat? How thick am I making the walls? Yeah, Rover, being scatterbrained is like typical for me. It's not exactly fun sometimes when you're trying to do something live and your brain's like, ooh, going crazy. PVG, the walls, I was probably going to make the non-visible walls about 80 thousandths thick, and then the visible walls, I was maybe even going to bump them down to about 40 thousandths thick, just so that way they don't look ridiculously big. It all depends, but for an unsupported area like that, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So actually, let me go back while I'm at it and change my wall thickness before I forget. Just tell me that's going to be the given dimension. Oh, that was 8, 8, 8. Perfect. And there's that, and there's that, which is, why is it like that? Okay, I need to change something here. This is one of the drawbacks of making a lot of running revisions to something, is sometimes Fusion gets a little messed up on what's going on, so it's a tad bit annoying, but it doesn't know any better. Okay, there we go. Okay. And I am taking a minute to just trace everything out, so if I make any more changes, hopefully it won't forget everything that I've done, which is the height of frustration for me. Okay, much better. Although I forgot that should get pulled out like that. Wow, where is my brain today? Okay, we're gonna cheat. We're just gonna do that. There are just some days where you're like, no, I'm just gonna do things my own way. Today is one of them. Trim. Maybe streaming today wasn't so smart. Oh well. So you guys get an honest view of me when I can't think doing Fusion. That guy need it. That guy doesn't know what the heck it's supposed to be doing, so I'm just gonna do it at 2. Let me sketch on up to there. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going for all along, and for some reason I couldn't get it. That's an epic fail. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's some times where it's like my brain is just like on fire, and it's like I can just spit things out left and right that are ideas and all that good stuff. And then there's some days like today where it's like, maybe I'll stream. And then like 10 minutes in, I'm like, maybe that wasn't so smart. My brain's not totally there. But I think for now, the hard part is over. I am going to make these actually a new body just so I can turn them off because they're kind of annoying me. Don't know why, but I think it's just giving me a false visual sizing of everything here. So we got the basic shape going. Now, look at this. Yeah, that's kind of an overhang. So I was originally thinking about, and that funky corner is just because of the cutout. But I was originally thinking about building a pillar right there, but I'll just keep it open. That's what support material is for. So now we can work on the engine hood. I'm gonna do that there, and then yeah, I'm lazy, I'm cranky. I'm gonna throw the Fusion rulebook out the window right now because I don't really care. So I'm gonna go in 20 thou. I can pull this guy down. Like, I'll just go 40 thou. What I do like to do when I'm building hoods and stuff that are removable, which in this case, this one's definitely going to have to be removable so I can install the electronics and stuff, is I like to make it have some kind of locating feature on the inside that really helps make my life about 10,000 times easier when I go to do any kind of work inside, electronics, otherwise. Seal that guy up. So now that we got the basic shape and we have this right here, I'm going to work on building my wonderful, typical curved hoods. I don't know why, but I always like making my hoods curved. I guess it's kind of like my designer's mark, you could say. I'm actually going to pull the edges up. There's two good reasons for doing that. One is I'm going to put a slight chamfer on the corners. And I also want to make sure that there's a little bit of straight material, not only for finishing, but also just for sake of meeting a minimum wall thickness so the edges don't try and curl up a ridiculous amount. Yeah, that's a little too big. Okay, so we can pull this guy back to, we'll pull it back to there. I'm gonna round the hood in, so I'm gonna actually turn off that so we can join those two together. Perfect. See how big of a, nah, don't like how that. So big. That looks pretty good. In there, liking that. Do a chat back up. PBG's asking he lives in the metric side of the world, as well as I know most of you guys probably. Just to have some sort of reference, how many thousandths is a 0.4 millimeter nozzle? Let me actually look that up, because that is a really good question. Millimeters to inches. I know 1 millimeter, I believe it's about 10 thousandths, because 1 millimeter is just about 40 thousandths, but yeah, 0.4 millimeter nozzle is just under 16 thousandths of an inch, which is pretty tiny. It's 0.15748 inches. So yeah, 0.8 millimeters is about 32 thousandths thick, which is just about a 32nd of an inch. So it's not super crazy thin, but it's also not super crazy thick either. So when it comes to detail items on the top of the hood here, I'm just going to use some of my pre-made, super handy, already designed them up exhaust units that I've created for my Davenport locomotive. So I'm just going to use that. But I am going to design up, if this was to have a grill, just a hood, how big that would be. I think it's the base again. Oh, 0.1. Okay. Perfect. And then turn the sketch back on. We'll just say 40 thou. So that creates kind of like a sort of brace around the radiator, or would-be radiator. And then just for my own sake, when I go to install the mesh, let me turn that guy back on. Let in 20 thou. So that way when I cut the mesh, go in there, I have a little room, if you will, to install it in. Or if I just go ahead and 3D print a custom grill insert, a little bit like what I did on the other locomotive, that becomes an option. Pretty darn sweet, actually. So we'll see. Yeah, effectively, I'm talking a 2-pass thickness wall for most slicers. The end model, I am going to FDM print this guy just so that way I have a test model to make sure I've got everything dialed in, especially with coupler heights, fit of everything. Because there's much room inside as I thought there was. Things like that, I definitely am not going to burn resin on, but when I actually go to make this thing for real, it's definitely going to be resin printed. So that is for sure. So one thing I am debating is faking. I might just do it now, actually. Is faking the size of the electronics decoder, because I want to see where, in theory, I can hide the thing. And I'll determine if I've got enough room inside the locomotive to make a fake engine, which would look really cool, but that's all determined by how much internal space there is. Because obviously I need to make sure that before I go hacking the sides up, that there's enough room to hide the necessary electronics. Or if I build the fake engine, I could actually just hide the electronics in there. We'll see. That might be another project for another stream. But you know what? While I'm at it, let me just fake some wall panels in here just for the heck of it. So just for giggles and grins right now, I've effectively blown the sides out on this. So if I did add a fake engine, I could see that. And also when I go to print it, not only does it, for the FDM print, save time and material and allow me ports, but the other thing is it allows me to check for potential conflicts with internal items. So I'm actually liking how this is coming along. It's looking really good. Maybe I will jump on the side panels a little bit. We'll see. Okay, JT, have a good one, mate. Thanks for swinging by. This definitely the streams are not, at least the design ones for now, are not something that I'm scheduling by any means, because I'm trying to figure out if me streaming doing design stuff is A, something you guys find enjoyable, and B, something that I really feel like, yeah, I should keep, doing this, because it does take a bit of concentration to sit here and, think through your next move before you, go ahead and do it. So a little bit like playing chess live, I guess. You got to make sure that what you're going to do, you've thought out ahead, or you're going to look really unintelligent really fast. And not to say that we all don't, just make mistakes on the stream. It's just it's a little bit different, but And again, in my defense, a lot of this is very much a trial and lots of error sort of thing. So anyway, I kind of have that going for me, but oh well. All what I'm doing is just, oh, I had an idea this morning and I think that would look cool, and I'm just gonna go and make it. And then you guys get to join along with fun and probably secretly sit there and chat and go, wow, Calvin makes me feel a lot better. He does make mistakes. And this light here is just, it's faked in there. Yeah, I don't really like that. Nope, we'll probably just use a pre-existing headlight design that I've done for another project. But I do plan on putting a light on the back and on the hood front here. And then I'll probably put some small little sanding things right there, and probably just salvage a controller design from another project that I did. So we'll see. Hey, 3D print creator. Yeah, some days I feel like that too. Some days I wake up and I'm like, how many things am I going to screw up today? And then, thankfully nothing major happens, but you forget something or things like that. So, oh well. So I think I'm gonna get ready to head off here. I actually got a lot more design than I thought, but figured, you know what? Let me show you guys the process of going to print this for those who are curious. Oh, thanks, PVG. Yeah, it's very much a trial and error thing, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not going to print the hood this time because that's completely useless at this point, but I am going to print the main body. So jump on over to simplify. Even though I do like the new Kira, I still can't figure out how to get the supports to work in there and not like weld themselves to my print. So for now, I'm sticking with what I know works, which is simplify, but the new Kira with the variable layer height function is definitely interesting stuff, and I'm happy to see they're making some progress with it. But for now, I'm just using simplify. So that's looking good. Get my SD card. That. Export it. And then actually I will stop screen sharing so you guys can see. So now I have file on my SD card, load it in the printer, and because it is about a 40-minute print, I'm going to cut the stream in a minute, but I will post up images to my Twitter at MakeItWithCal. You guys can see some of the images on there when I get it up. This is definitely going to be a project that's going to be running for a while, if you will. So don't worry, it's probably going to go through multiple iterations. Yeah, PVG, I've definitely got to say, let me see if I can find a print where I did the variable layer height. Oh, here we go. This is the mini tripod that I did with the variable layer height like this. And as you can see, it's got the support still on it, which obviously is not my favorite. I probably could do a better job of removing it. But overall, the variable layer height works very well, except for the very bottom where it's a little bit rough, but it's nothing you can't sand out. The rest of the sides of this all look pretty consistent in terms of, you know, when you run your finger over the edge, you can definitely tell where it's automatically changed the layer height if you're looking for the differences in the actual physical layers changing. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with it. Definitely still need to mess around with the supports on it, though. Those are definitely kind of but for the right application, variable layer height is definitely nice, but I need to actually, I'm going to do probably a side-by-side comparison of Simplify and Cura with an actual time of the print, time lapse it, and then count, you know, show based off the number of frames, or calculate with like a little, like my phone running a timer in the shot or something. So that way I can show people, yes, this does save time. No, this does not. This is what it looks like. Things like that. So I definitely feel like the new Cura 3.2, oh, there goes the printer. It's definitely got some potential. I haven't tried the tree support yet. Every time I gave that a shot, it didn't work. It wanted to try doing other supports, so I don't know if I was doing something wrong. I want to give it another try, though. I think I need to kind of figure it out because it does have potential, but I don't know. Personally, it's a little dodgy. It works fine on resin prints because it can get really tiny and fuse itself to the print. Otherwise, I don't know. I think it's more experimental, or like this is an experiment, and it might work for certain situations, but I just never found it to be that impressive when I would use it with the mesh mixer. So we'll see. So you guys can't see it, but first layer is going down good. I'm running some filamentive. Is that how you say it? No, filamentum. Can't pronounce things right now. Red PLA on the printer. So hopefully in about 4:15 my time, about half hour, 45 minutes, we will have a finished print, and I will show you guys that. So yeah, have a good one, 3D Print Creator, and thanks to everybody who popped on for this. These are definitely experiments, so definitely let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to try and do design streams as a scheduled thing. Still kind of 50-50 on it because trying to talk and think and do stuff at the same time slightly overloads my brain, so we'll see. But thanks to all of you who popped on. I genuinely appreciate it, and I will see you guys later. See ya.